Hi, I'm Kimber Sprawl,
Hi guys, I'm Ryan Vasquez.
and we are your voting ambassadors for BroadwayWorld. So basically, as we get closer and closer to the election and everyone's kind of figuring out their voting plan, whether you're going to be voting by mail, voting early, absentee, or figuring out where your local poll place is. We also want to encourage you to continue to take a deeper look into each candidate, and we call that policy over president. I'm not undecided by any means, but I think it's very important to make sure that my vote aligns with my policy and my ideologies and with that president. And I think you'll find, like, the more you dig deeper into what's going on, you'll know who you're voting for. But I think that, like, I'll be the first to admit that I don't always know, right, Ryan?
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly. There's this sort of pressure, like social pressure, to just be supporting one party over another. And depending on where you live, that could be a different party, right? And we get into these conversations, maybe with family or with friends who were trying to, or phone banking, and trying to talk a little bit about why specifically we're voting for a certain candidate or not, and you realize that you sort of were just like a fish swimming with the stream, right? We want to kind of dig into some specific issues that folks are talking about, and I think the first one that's on everybody's mind, right, is the coronavirus, the response to the coronavirus, etc.
So does the candidate support mandates nationwide to fight the pandemic? Trump is a no, and Biden is yes. Trump opposes the national requirement to wear masks locally and on a national level, and he does not enforce it whatsoever. Biden says that his legal team thinks that as president, he can basically issue a nationwide mandate for everyone to wear them, and as a requirement.
We saw Trump mocking Biden for wearing a mask on the debate stage a week or so ago, when
Right.
it was likely that he was infectious. In that moment, right? He
Right.
he refused to take a test the day of the debate. For some people to see him standing on top, like Eva Peron style, at the White House and rip off that mask as soon as he got home when he was still infectious, folks are seeing that and thinking, okay, well then this is fine. And so if you're in that ecosystem, you're not necessarily following that because it doesn't seem legitimate. Whereas Biden, of course,
Right.
is supporting a mandate generally for masks, especially indoors in large gatherings when you cannot social distance, is just sensible science, right?
Yeah, and I think going into that, one wants to withdraw from the World Health Organization and one does not. And I guess you can, guess which is which. Trump wants to withdraw and Biden doesn't. This is obviously something that's happening on a international level, and many people are being affected by this in many different ways. You can be affected with your health, financially, emotionally. Like, this is something that is going on.
Sort of this boils down to, right, is this Trump thing of America first, really meaning America by itself, right? He doesn't
Right.
want to collaborate with other organizations, with other countries, and that spirit of collaboration when we are all facing something, like you said, that's universally affecting every country in the world. We need to be pooling our resources together.
Does the candidate support requiring health insurance to cover pre-existing conditions? Trump has been unclear, and Biden says yes. Trump has repeatedly said that he will always protect Americans with pre-existing conditions, and yet the protections of the ACA, which the administration wants the Supreme Court to strike down, he has been constantly, going after Obamacare, like trying to repeal that. We're all going to be dealing with this. Like, COVID is going to be a pre-existing condition. If we are the best country in the world, the greatest country in the world, like you said, then everyone should have health care and everyone should be protected. You shouldn't be charged more for being sick or having a pre-existing condition.
When it comes to the Affordable Care Act, to me, I'm waiting for Trump and Republicans to offer an alternative. If they don't have a replacement for it, you can't continue to say, let's repeal and replace, we have this plan. What is the plan?
And so that's all we have time for today, Ryan. But I encourage y'all to go to the Washington Post and look at this article that we were referring to. Take it down bit by bit, policy by policy, like we're doing, so that so that your vote can dictate what you actually believe and you can be a more well-informed and educated voter.
Exactly. Educate, 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 right? We gotta be armed with the information if we want to sort of go out into the world and make change. And so that's what this is about. So thanks, y'all.